I thought I had a discipline problem, but it was more of a lack of direction problem. And I talk about this because I had a business which I worked on for the last 2.5 years, and I came to hate it. Right? I mean, I don't really see many people talking about this, but you always see people talking about this great thing of you build a business and make loads of money and life is great, and that obviously happens for people. But there's also a lot of people where things don't work out, and that was for me. Where honestly speaking, I didn't really make a crazy amount of money from it. And I spent so much time on it, right? I was doing loads of outreach, logging into people's accounts and sending messages, responding to messages, sending follow up messages. Once I was done with that, I'd log into the next one. And I got to a point where I had about 7 people that I was doing messages for. And it took about 3 hours every morning, Monday to Friday, to get through it all. Brutal. And so what I realized is when I was going through that business and such, I originally got into it not because I wanted to or necessarily enjoyed it. It was more just I got into it because of money, but also because of what other people told me that I should do. Right? I mean, I learned the skill of copywriting and I sort of got into it, and then eventually I came across LinkedIn and I thought that's the thing I'll do. And like, I mean, I spent loads of money and loads of time on it. Like, I literally spent like £2,400 for 2 months of coaching to literally teach me how to do the thing that I was trying to sell other people. Pretty stupid. But I learned from it. And just looking back, I realized that all of the, like I would have found so much more success in it if I actually had interest in it, because I had to take a step back, a couple months ago and actually look at my situation and realize I actually don't like this, right? I really don't like this situation, right? I really don't like what I do. I don't like having to wake up every morning and do the work. And it was only really when I realized on those weekends, right, those Saturday, Sunday, where actually I could wake up and not have to do all this outreach messaging with a relief. And originally, I used to think, oh, well, maybe I lack discipline. Maybe I just wasn't, in it. And could I have made it work? Absolutely. But I didn't want to. And looking back now and looking at my situation now, I realize I was entirely misaligned. I was entirely misaligned. I was doing something I didn't want to do. I was doing something because, hey, if it makes me money and it's, somewhat remote and whatever, then that's cool. But that just wasn't what I wanted. And I know that now. And having now misaligned, or sorry, having now realigned to things that are more meaningful to me, such as creating content, such as developing video games, and just doing more creative things and things that I think are more meaningful and can pass on the message and that sort of thing. Like that is really nice for me. And I am more than happy to spend hours upon hours every day doing stuff like this because I like doing it, right? I mean, like sometimes I'll spend literally 10 hours, just sat down at a computer screen a day, just working on these things. And I like doing that. And all of a sudden, I'm at a position where it's like, look, I don't need these productivity things, these Notion things, these courses or anything, because I wouldn't really say there's necessarily anything or much wrong with me as a person. I think it's more just realigning myself to focus on things I want to work on. Because, funnily enough, if you enjoy doing something and you've got meaning behind it, I have a feeling you're going to be more likely to do it. And that's exactly how I felt. So, what I want you to take away from this video is like, if you're trying to build things, right, like if you're trying to build yourself up as a man, and you're trying to build on things that you want to build on, actually ask yourself if you are genuinely interested in this, if you genuinely like this, right? And this isn't necessarily a video to say, oh, just follow your passion sort of thing, but I think it's more of like if you're trying to work away at something and you perhaps are feeling a bit burnt out, a bit frustrated, do you actually like doing it? And I understand everything has obviously got its difficulties, right? Creating content, sometimes things will get a bit difficult and tedious. Developing video games with AI, sometimes the AI really, really fucks up. But I do enjoy the process. And that's what's really key. It is just enjoying the process, because I think I looked far too long at the end result of the it'll be worth it when I get to that point. But although I understand it, things are going to be difficult in no matter what venture or no matter what project you're supposed to build, I feel like you should be able to enjoy the process. And I think if you don't, ask yourself this question. If you had all the money in the world, or if money weren't a thing, but you still had to work 4 to 5 hours a day, what would you do? Genuinely, ask yourself those questions, because I've been finding that the better questions I ask myself, the more clarity I can get. Because what I really want to encourage from my audience is to really think for yourself. Really think for yourself, really ask yourself those questions, because if you enjoy doing something and everyone else in the world is telling you that you shouldn't do it or that it may be not as profitable, whatever, don't listen. Just do your thing and have full confidence that you can do it, because that's what matters.